Hi, I'm Marcia Franklin with Dialogue, and I'm here with Elisa Herod. She's a Boise native and an author of a book called Coming to My Senses about perfume. And we're going to talk a little bit specifically about perfume, and she's going to talk with me about what might make a good scent for me. Yes?
Well,
so you do perfume consultations with people, and what kind of questions do you ask them?
I started doing this out of self-defense because my friends thought I was a little bit crazy. And I thought I was a little bit crazy. And so I figured, well, the best defense is an offense, and I'm just going to seduce them into my world. So if we were going to have a full consultation, there would probably be some alcohol and food involved so that you would be a little more relaxed.
This is the other alcohol.
Yes, this is the other fragrant alcohol. And then I might begin by asking you questions about the sense of your childhood or just sense out in the world that you like, whether you're someone that likes the smells of the kitchen.
No, not particularly. I wore an essential oil when I was growing up called China Rain. So whatever's in that I liked. It seemed kind of heavy, or rain. I don't know what those were made out of. But as far as scents go, gosh, I always think of tastes. Like ginger and chocolate. I don't particularly. I think I like lemon, the smell of lemon, but then it can get to smell a little bit like cleaning a floor if you're not careful. Because we've associated that scent so much with floor mopping.
Well, we're not worried about that right now. But so you like ginger and you like lemon, these bright things, but you also like chocolate, so that's a more rounded. Chocolate's actually a really complicated scent. It's kind of like coffee.
I love coffee. So there's a scent that I love, even if I don't drink coffee. I love the smell of coffee.
So those kind of deep, woody notes.
Yeah, but not too much, because then it starts getting overwhelming.
Because you don't like bitterness.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Or maybe
musk.
And maybe more transparent.
Exactly. Something that's pretty light, that's not going to bother other people or me.
Well, when people say things like that, I always think, well, maybe.
Let them bother.
For
Be
now.
bothered. So you've picked some things here.
So these are sort of gateway perfumes, and also some things that relate back to the book. This is Paste Rose. It's from a hotel, a very beautiful hotel in Italy called the Positano Cyrenus.
Is that what you're wearing right now?
This is what I am wearing
right
now. And it has, it opens with this kind of really resinous sweet myrrh. Opopanax is the proper name for that. So it's
It smells a little medicinal.
It is a little medicinal, yes.
To begin with.
And resinous.
But you don't smell medicinal to me, so it must waft away and other things come out of it eventually. And
some people like that kind of, they find it bracing. So it's kind of like the resin that comes out of a tree. And then what happens is there's this very dark rose that doesn't really smell like a rose at all, but it warms up the resin.
And that's what I've smelled over the last half hour under the lights.
Yeah.
And that's interesting about perfume is that it changes. It has different, what you call notes, almost a beginning, middle, and end, like a story.
Some of it does. A lot of modern perfumes will just kind of come at you all at once because they know you don't have patience to stand by the counter and wait. But never buy a perfume in the first 15 minutes because that's where all the money is. Go away, go have lunch. An hour later, if it doesn't annoy you, then you can go back to the counter and buy it. Because very often if they have a tight budget, which they do because they spend a lot of money on the bottle and the advertising, if it's a mainstream scent, then they'll put it all on the top when you're making that decision.
The top notes, meaning?
The top notes, yeah.
And what else have you brought with you?
This is a vintage perfume. I just thought it might be interesting for you to see what our scandalous grandmothers smelled like, because they were really scandalous. You mentioned wanting something very light, wanting something that wouldn't offend people. Okay, this was a daytime scent for our grandmothers, and it smells of violets and leather. And it smells like a different era, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I like it, though.
It's kind of a fantastic
There's some linen
scent.
smell to me in there,
Yeah.
like fresh sheets. Smells good. I mean, it's
really? Because it has some green in the top, maybe.
Yeah. It smells very interesting. And you write in your book that you're kind of sad that some of these older perfumes have gone by the wayside or been reformulated.
Yes.
And that so many new perfumes are so sweet. You say, who's going to teach us how to be old? And
how are we going to learn how to grow old if everyone wants to stay young? Yeah. And that's why I try to get people to think about the scents in their lives and maybe about the kind of person that they want to pretend to be or just become, rather than about, well, what am I going to wear? Don't go so fast to that place. You think you know what you want to wear, but you might not, really. If you kind of dig a little deeper and think about the scents in your lives and the kind of fantasy life that you have. And we won't do that on camera.
No. But some of these perfumes have gone away, haven't they? And people search over and over and over for them. You write about your mom and searching for an old perfume for her because they no longer exist.
A lot of the classics have been reformulated. People will never tell you that. If you go to the store, they will say over and over again that Chanel No. 5 is exactly the same now as it was 20 years ago. It absolutely is not. Some of those ingredients don't exist anymore. Some of them have been outlawed.
Because?
Oh, various
allergies?
Reasons. No. Well, for a while, No. 5 was using some musks that were then dangerous to, they were water pollution, so they couldn't use them anymore. And then it uses sandalwood, and there is no commercial Mysore sandalwood anymore. Very, very little of it because the trees have all been cut down. So now you have synthetic sandalwood. So it can be everything from that to things that have been determined to be potential allergens. The perfume industry is very paranoid right now, so they are legislating themselves before they ever get sued by anybody else. Yeah, so it changes for all, but mostly it changes because we don't want to smell like our mothers and grandmothers, we think. I don't know. Sometimes I do want to smell like my grandmother.
And that is in your book, right?
This is in my book. This is the perfume that I talk about in Chapter 2 as smelling of wine and raw honey and October light. And it does smell of all those things. It's called Botrytis, which is a horrible name, which is why I don't name it in the book. It was created by a French wine company called Ginestette. And if you're in the wine business, Botrytis is the noble rot. I know you're in love with that one.
Well, you are too.
I am too.
This smells wonderful.
I am too.
This smells wonderful. This smells like, as you put in the book, you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it does just sink into your skin and then kind of radiate out. But honey is a tricky note on people. So for some people, it doesn't smell like honey at all. It's definitely something you want to try first.
And you mentioned that this is Botrytis, and this is known to people in the wine industry as something you don't want, noble rot.
Noble rot. No, you do want it.
For a certain kind of grape.
Yes, for a certain kind of grape. It's the noble rot that creates Sauterne. For gardeners, for rose growers especially, it's that thing that killed every plant in my garden. Yeah. But for the wine industry, it's a beautiful thing.
It can make a wonderful scent. And as we wrap up, you've got peacock feathers there, and you use those in your consults?
Yes, I'm going to make this one for you since I know you love Botrytis.
Oh, thanks.
What I do is spray the feather, and since birds have natural oils that keep the feathers locked, it'll stay scented for a very long time.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I wish we had smell-o-vision, but we don't, so you just have to trust me. It smells very, very nice. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I've learned so much as well.
Thank you so much.